You ever had a crazy dream about becoming a robot? Welcome to Shadow Theater, and I had a crazy dream about a gentleman named Blender. You see, Blender, well, that's his nickname. And he was really old, had no retirement funds, and needed a place to where he could work and live and survive. You see, in his world was full of islands and ocean. And so he found himself on an island that was a scrap heap, not the most reputable one in the world. And, well, it offered room and board and food. And so he decided to work there because he had no other option for retirement funds and no other ways of living. But a place that gave him food and a bed to rest on, he took it. And he figured he could just live there until he died. He already lived his life, and, well, it wasn't much of a life, but at least he could still eat. Now, unfortunately, it didn't go as planned for him. You see, the scrap heap he went to had a new employer. And this new employer, well, they're cheap, and they don't like to lose employees, so they do anything they can to keep them. Well, Blender being so old, his body started to run down on him. And so this employer, unbeknownst, unknown to Blender, started replacing things on him in his sleep. Foot here, foot there, a hip, arm, so on and so forth. Eventually, Blender became a fully bionic person and still worked there. Hundreds, thousands of years even passed, and he still worked there. He got the nickname Blender because he was the first to ever be blended into a robot-human combo. Now, something was special about him. Whenever someone became a bionic, they needed a spark battery. It's nicknamed that because it's known as the spark of life. He never needed a spark battery because his heart never gave out. He had a strong heart, strong desire. For what, though? After so many years, he forgot who he was. Granted, he didn't have much of a past to remember anyways, and became more of a drone. His employer loved that about him. Well, either way, after a millennia or two, pirates came and raided the scrap heap, stealing a bunch of things and ending the reign of the horrible employer, taking their spark battery more or less. Granted, they've been running that place terrible for so long, no one really cared. But this one person Blender didn't know what to do, but saw this great adventure of people, and so went and joined this pirate crew. He literally sailed with them until all his new friends have moved on to, well, the next life, the next phase, whatever happens after death. And he was left alone again, sailing on a ship that he could man by himself. He rigged the whole thing to all the different islands, seeing great adventures, continuing to discover new things in the world. And he continued to move on, finding out all these adventures and collecting stories. So many to write down, to record, and to share. He eventually became one of the greatest verbal storytellers of all time because of how many he collected. And eventually, that's how he relived all his great adventure with all the friends he's ever had, and was never alone again. Now, the reason I love this dream is it doesn't matter how old you get, as long as you're young at heart and never lose your dreams, you can always achieve anything. I almost forgot this dream. It was one that I had a while ago, and it intrigued me to see Blender, because that's who I followed. And I saw years and millennia and thousands of years pass following him and how he collected stories. Before he became Blender, he didn't have much of a life, but afterwards he got to live a wonderful life. And the one thing that was consistent about him is that he never needed a spark battery. He had a young heart, always wanted to have adventures. He just never knew about how to do it until he finally made the right friends. I think that's what life's about, is finding your tribe that you could go and work with and move forward with. I am so grateful. I have a wonderful, beautiful tribe that I have in my life. Do you have your tribe? And if you don't, do you know how to find them? I think the biggest thing is people in your life that don't shut you down or hold you back. Ones that encourage you, help you dream a little. Dreams are a wonderful thing. Yes, I have crazy dreams at night, but the dreams that we chase during the day are just as important. So I hope that you stay dreamers out there, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. It's a fun one for me to have. I have several more that I still have recorded that I haven't recorded yet for you guys that I'll continue into the new year. Though I do think I want to change things up in this new year. I think I'm going to add another video during the week where I see what other people dream. If you like that idea, like this video. And until next time, sweet dreams.